Hello everyone, today is 2025, July 1st. So welcome to this week Middle East Economic Weekly Observation. Um, the main topic we talk about is the Saudi they will impose anti-dumping duties on China regarding the steel tube. So later we'll take a detailed look at this. So first, let's start from UAE macroeconomy. Uh, Also very important, Abu Dhabi's population grew by 7.5% in 2024 and reaching a total population of 4.1 million people. Dubai is, I think, is also about 4 million people. It's depending on the daytime or the nighttime. So it's a 7.5% increase is a good number. So in the past decade, it increased by 51%, uh, rising from the 2.7 million in 2014 to over 4.1 million in 2024. Uh, yeah, so so the population is here. So remember this figure when you see the rising price of the real estate asset, the rising quantity of real estate asset, you need to compare with this number 7.5. And Dubai convicts 21 individuals in massive visa fraud scam. Uh, so previously, I think currently as well, many people they doing the visa offering business. They set up a fake, and it's not fake. Set up a company in the Emirate, and they recruit staff, but they don't actually need this staff to work on any business. They just offering them a identity, the citizen, the residency. Uh, and this business is not legal in in Emirate. So, so Dubai they have take down one business. This involved 21 individuals. Uh, yeah, it's quite a big business. 21 individuals. But this would be a signal like they will take it seriously to against this illegal exploitation of residence visas. And CBUE, the Central Bank of United Arab Emirates, uh, the gold reserves rise 19.3% in Q1. I think it's partly due to the increasing price and also because of the deposit in the central bank is very high. So they mobilize some money into the gold asset. Yeah, in the last week, UAE they have received three international credit rating agencies rating. So Fitch gave UAE uh, gave A double A minus, and Moody rating at double A, SP rating at double A as well. So yeah, so this rating meaning that there's a very stable outlooking for the future, the near future of UAE's economy, and UAE ranks among top seven global destinations for tourist spending. The sector contributed 13% of the total economy. Here's Dubai Complex's first flying taxi test flight, uh, and it's run by the Joby Aviation. It's an American company. Okay, let's look at the Minasa. So in the last week, Israel and Iran they made a peaceful treaty, and Israel lifts domestic restrictions linked to Iran war. Um, and everything back to normal in the Middle East in the last week. Okay, let's look at the Saudi. Saudi sovereign wealth funds they have diversified their funding sources, and their performance is quite good here. I think I have news here. Yeah. So in the last year, the total asset rise by 18%, and the total revenue surged by 25%. It didn't mention the net profit here, right? So at least we can see the scale is big, and also is trying to be sustainable and to diversify its funding sources. Mm. Here's IMF. They have forecast Saudi Arabia 2025 GDP growth to 3.5%. Previously it's 3%. It's mainly because the government has pushed forward with spending on the massive economic transformation program. So, so at least in the coming year, the economy is still good, but it's not sure what's going to happen like afterward. So here is the Gulf lenders PB multiples. Here we can see the yellow one is the Saudi bank. The PB is decreasing. I think this is regarding the valuation, right? It's decreasing from 2022, the peak, and here is kind of the lowest in the past few years. And in contrast, the UAE's rating has been in the uptrend from the 2020's lowest to the currently uh, 1.4 PB multiples, which is the highest in the in in the in the GCC countries, in all four GCC countries. And here's it's just showing the people is losing some confidence in the Saudi banks, the credibility, the sustainability, because there's a huge debt has been put into the giga projects and the non-giga projects. So all these projects, the future, the income is not clear. So people has doubt. So they have lowered the PB multiples. Currently is kind of the lowest in the come as low as the COVID time, right? Here's the volume, the value of the Saudi non-giga projects and the UAE's pipeline projects. So within 2 years, these two countries they have similar value, and in 5 years, Saudi has a bigger value of the non-giga projects, and the remaining is the same. They have the same value as well. So and this is the Saudi's giga projects pipeline, like excluding the energy sector. The major value goes to the NEOM, and apart from the NEOM, they have uh, huge huge pipeline in the housing and infrastructure as well, and they have also sports, hotel, and leisure. If you go Saudi, you can see that their hotel is kind of old. They lack some modern hotel, and here's they also have some pipeline projects in industrial and utilities, but not that much, and also very small portion in the education and health. So this is the Giga project pipeline, and there's a construction project pipeline. So this is the difference of the non-giga and giga projects in value. So the non-giga projects takes the majority of the value, but in the future, in the uncertainty, so giga projects takes the bigger portion. It because the giga projects they have it raises the uncertainty uh, from the people. So the priority is to suspend all these investments in giga projects and more focus on the non-giga projects, the more relating to the normal lives. So we can see that this is the recent move of Saudi. And the good news is Saudi Arabia's unemployment rate has fell to a record low. In the first quarter of 2025, it's 6.3%, and for the female unemployment dropped to 10.5%. It's uh, it's very good. So GCC countries, especially Saudi, Oman, they have a very high unemployment rate because uh, mainly it's the government to feed the people through the oil money, oil dollar, and but now they are trying the best to diversify their economy. So it is necessary to get people to be employed and to put people into its diversified industries to generate more value to make it sustainable in the long term. So Yeah, so it's so far this is good news. The unemployment rate is getting lower. Okay, let's look at the East Asia and the Middle East. So UAE and China, they have recently launched the Qingdao Overseas Integrated Service Center at the China Arab Business Forum held in Qingdao recently, that is aimed at increasing the $400 billion trade between the China and the Arab world. A total of 40 important projects were signed during the forum. So what are these projects? We don't know. With a total value of $1.9 billion, covering the industries such as high-end equipment, new energy and new materials, and the next generation information technology. So yeah, it's good. And at the same time, Saudi Arabia, they have imposed the anti-dumping duties on stainless steel imports from China, and also, yeah, okay, wait, I couldn't mention this word. Um, yeah, we have many projects in it's going on in Saudi, and many of them is contracted by the Chinese contractor. So uh, so Saudi don't want much money to flow to the Chinese, so they want to cut some money, leave some money to their domestic companies. So in the previous week, we have seen Saudi had some JV with Chinese companies to set up the steel business, and now they cut the supply from China. So um, it's a sign that Saudi they don't have much money left. They want to be be more conservative, and but it's also a good signal that China has more motivation to set up a business in Saudi to manufacture locally and mm, yeah, and I can see in the future like in the coming few years there's more duties gonna be imposed by the Saudi Arabia to China. I think it might become this is the first move. I think there will be more. Let's look at globally. So, uh, globally, there's more people are concerning about the hyperinflation. Uh, this word has been uh, mentioned, uh, mentioned more frequently in the past few years. I think so. History, uh, we have mentioned the yeah yeah history we have mentioned like multiple times. This is the de-dollarization. No, this is the shift from the gold to the patch, a shift patch from gold to dollar. And currently, the latest trend is de-dollarization because people realize that the dollar is depreciating its value, so they have moved the fund to euro, to the other currency, to the gold, to even to the cryptocurrency. This is the G7's gross public debt as a percentage of GDP. So Japan is still top of all these G7 countries. For the other G7 countries, they have reaching the top in the COVID time, but now they are on a decreasing trend, I think. But still, it's very high. Very high. It's more or less around 100% of the GDP. The debt as a percentage of GDP. Um, But on the other side, so all the debt is still in control, and here we have the interest on public debt as a percentage of GDP. Here we can see that all the interest on the public debt is still the 5%. They have controlled it very well in the last 100 years for all the G7 countries to make it below the 5% of the GDP because this is the sustainable level. So far it's still in a sustainable level, but it's kind of high. Mm. Here we can see in the 1920s, Germany they have decreased the interest to almost zero, and at that time, Germany has faced a huge uh, hyperinflation. So so that's why the people some Europeans, some German people they have concerned about the hyperinflation uh, situation recently. Here's the figure about the dollar. They have fell and since the Donald Trump took the position, it's reached the lowest level since 2022 April. So at the time, the Fed is very important. They couldn't, if they lower the interest rate, this dollar fall will be uh, more significantly. Yeah, I should put this together. So this is another figure with a longer timeline. So we can see it reached the 2022 April level. Yeah, it reached this level, and it's not far from the COVID level. It's already below 100, the dollar index. Okay, and the US's new home sales dropped by most since 2022 because of the poor affordability. It's not because the economy is bad, but because the operation of the housing is so much, so people couldn't afford the house. This situation is very similar to the 2008, the global crisis, right? Global financial crisis level, right? Yeah, so it's it's a big there's a big possibility that we will experience the global financial crisis again. It could be. So after in the next like 2 3 years, I think it's really depends on what the treasury will do, and how the people what the president Trump will do, and what the people will do. Okay, let's look at the oil and the metal. Uh, in the last week, the oil has declined by 13, 14, almost 14% in a week. And the Brent and WTI both reached the $60 per barrel level. And here we can see the stock pairs they have fall to a very low level. It's partially because the all people are expecting the oil price will decreasing in the near future, and also the economy will have some problem in the near future as well. They don't need much oil in reserve in the in the stockpile. And here we have the global commodities and the bond yields. And the gold price in the last week they have fall as well. So they have reached the 3,300 level. Even if fuel price they have increased, I don't understand why UAE's price is not consistent with the market price of the oil. Maybe this is kind of delayed because the oil first need to processed and then delivered to the market to the consumer, right? Maybe the consumer in the July they are consuming the oil produced in June, maybe because in June the oil price is high was high. Maybe I don't know. I don't quite understanding this. Or maybe the government just want to get more money from the consumer, from the uh from the final products, because the many all these oil companies, many of them they are state owned, and also the producer of the oil is state owned as well. So the government will be benefit from this. Yeah, maybe because they have increased the SALIC fee, the parking fee. So now they are increasing the fuel fee, fuel price as well, just to support the government spending. Maybe. Okay, let's look at the company. So in the last week, the Middle East market they have rebounded very well. So especially Dubai Financial Market and Abu Dhabi Exchange, and here is the Kuwait Exchange, and the Egypt Exchange is wonderful. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. I really need to take a deep look at Egypt. What's happening there? Uh, Egypt currency depreciated a lot, so make their index increases that much. Okay, let's look at the DFM. So in the last week, there's only three companies they dropped, including Spinnings. So all the other companies they have increased a lot, and most of them increased 5%, and some of them increased more than 10%, including the Sadiq, Emaar, and Dubai Financial Market, Parking, uh, Dubai Islamic Bank. Is it? I don't know. Okay, and our more capital rate is inviting existing unit holders and to subscribe more to the new to the new how to say to the new shares is distributed. And also this amount capital I have seen its previous data. I think it's released in 2015, and since it's since its release, it has been decreasing almost 6 or 7 years till the COVID time. And since the COVID time, increased a little. So the current level is still far below its launching price, and also um, the currently they can hardly make a 7.5% dividend rate. So I think they have been stopped distributed dividend for a few years. I think so. As my opinion as always, I don't think the rate here is a good business uh, because UAE is developing very fast, and properties cannot appreciate because it's a premium location. So this makes its asset cannot appreciate much. It will only depreciate because it's getting old. And for the overall housing sector, the supply is very strong. So there's no leak in the supply. So also meaning that the income cannot be sustained at a high level for the long term. So when we talk about UAE, we are always talking about its affordability in the housing sector, because there's always not always. I mean, there's a lot in the most of the time. In the most time, there will be a lot of housing available. Even today, at its peak time, we will still see the empty building, the abandoned building in the UAE, in Dubai. And also, UAE is expanding. So Mashreq Bank has opened its representative office in Turkey. They very like Turkey because Turkey is kind of previous the Middle East, how to say, the cultural. Even today, it's still the cultural center. So also the most they just have some desire the desire, not desire, desire to the Turkey, and for the Egypt, for the Egypt is already fallen. So previously Egypt was the star in the Arab world, but now the star has fallen. So for Egypt there's nothing. Okay, let's look at Dubai Investments has unfortunately broken ground on Asaya Avenue. So this is a new residential cluster expanding the 2.2 billion dirham Maldives Hills master development in the community of Maldives. Maldives is a good place. It's very suitable for the family and is very close to the park, the Maldives Park. So in total, there will be almost 200 residential apartments comprising 1, 2, 3 bedroom units. So as I mentioned, is very good for the family to live there. For the crypto, so stablecoins are growing fast, especially the USDC, and for the Tether as well. So the uptrend is clearly. So USDC has a higher uptrend, I think, a bigger uptrend maybe. Yeah. So stablecoins are among the largest US Treasury bills bearer. First is JP Morgan, second is China, third is stablecoins. So mainly is the US USD Tether and USDC. Um, After that is Fidelity, Japan, Hong Kong, and Cayman Islands, Israel, Singapore, Germany, UAE, wow, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Switzerland. It's surprising that UAE has surpassed Luxembourg and Switzerland, not just below the Singapore, Germany, and Israel. Um, Cross borders, where's Saudi? Saudi is not here. Okay, Saudi don't buy US dollars. Don't Saudi don't buy the US treasury bills. And the cross-border stable flows are back and on the rise. So we can see since the COVID time, all the cross-border flows has been dominated. I think it's largely taken by the no, and it's not largely. I think it's just playing a very important role in the cross-border the capital flows. You can see the most of them are the tether, because tether, many of money in tether is not very clean, it's dirty. And volatility is far from absent in stablecoins backed by dollar-dominated assets. annualized standard deviation or daily returns computed on 21 trading day moving window. For the stablecoin, we can see it's very low mean volatility compared with Bitcoin and also compared with SP500. They are using the data back to 2019. So before the COVID time, there's some stable coins has fallen. So they have put that stable coins here as well, considered here as well. So stable coins should be zero. Should be no. I think the currently is the lowest level. There's almost no volatility. Very low volatility. Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is all for the last week. See you. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week. Bye bye.